This is showing up on all of our channels. That's the plan. I have no idea. Yeah, go ahead and check while I do some talking. Here, we'll go to the way it's going to be. Dean, we'll put Dean at the front. But how's it? Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad that you're here. We're hanging out today. We're going to be talking about kind of all things theology, YouTube, Baptist, Presbyterian, all the fun stuff. So
nothing controversial.
No, okay. no, nothing crazy. But we are going to ask you at the front to give this video a like, right? That's what we're supposed to do. That's what all the YouTube people tell us to do. So
I don't have my sound, like my cool sound stuff, and I'm like beep 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 beep.
Yeah, I don't
DJ
have
horn.
Yeah, I have no cool sound stuff over here.
It's the worst name for a DJ.
Or the best.
Or the best. Beep beep.
Okay, so here's the opening question. What theologian has the best DJ name?
DJ Spurgeon.
Maybe.
I'm even wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He's also not the best theologian. There's a lot of like exegesis that he did, or lack thereof, where you're like, bro, where are you going? That was a great point, though. Keep talking.
Let's get into the hot takes early, okay?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Spurgeon's no good.
Yeah, I love Spurgeon.
I didn't say it. John said it. John said it.
You guys tuning into the Three Stooges doing a live stream?
Oh, your crackle's back.
Oh.
We're going to have some tech stuff today, guys. Welcome to the stream.
Super professional.
Okay, so
I think it's demons. Isn't it? I heard
it's Restream. It's Restream.
I heard Restream gave you demons. Is that not? I don't know.
That's how technology and secular music works, right?
Hey, okay, we do have some people hopping in from
welcome,
at least over my way.
Yeah. So, do you see it says paired? So it tells us who's coming from who.
Oh, look at that. That's so fancy. This is fancy. It's got demons, but it's fancy.
Oh, okay. If we're the Three Stooges, who is who? Who is who? I'm not going to say. I think they should name us. They called us the Three Stooges.
Yeah, let's hear it. Iron Man 67, you tell us.
Okay.
Tell us who's who.
Got that? Am I here?
I hope I'm not the mean one.
Hello, he's back.
Is it still doing it?
No, it's not.
Well, praise the Lord, because I just switched to AirPods. And
he just did a real fast exorcism.
Yeah. Probably didn't sound good, but I don't care.
He took some of the holy water from outside.
Yeah. Should I turn my mic off and still like have it in front of me so I can be cool like you guys? So this is a great audio you're hearing right here.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's okay. We all know you have the best production quality of anyone.
Well, apparently not, because stuff doesn't work.
But, on your own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to the Presby. Let's go. It's starting early. Thank you.
Oh, there is one.
Yeah.
There are more than just
That's
one.
cool.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's cool. Your brother showed up for the stream.
It's your dad.
If my dad knew how to do YouTube, he would be here.
Oh.
The funny thing is, I see him on your channel all the time, Dean, because my dad's name is David Collins, but it's not that David Collins.
All right. I was like, what?
I was like, Jeremy, your dad's on his stream, but not yours? Bro, talk to your dad.
He's got better things to do.
I don't want to get in between you guys,
Well, how about you can get in between us?
Oh,
ooh.
Okay.
So
here we go.
You might be a Southern Baptist if.
Oh, boy.
We'll flip-flop back and forth between Baptists and Presbyterians. You guys in the chat, if you've got any that are better than these, if you believe you're supposed to take a covered dish to heaven when you die.
That's for Baptist or Presbyterian?
Baptist.
That's for Southern Baptists.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Specifically.
Yeah, you that grew up in the Northwest, I guess that doesn't apply.
Yeah, I don't know about any casserole dishes.
You wouldn't have luncheons after church with casserole dishes?
Honestly, I think we had like 4.
So
it was not a thing.
I have a story about this, okay? I was in a non-denominational church for 10 years, okay?
And then he got saved.
And then I got saved. Then I became a real believer because I was a Baptist believer now. So I got hired at a Baptist church. The first month I was there, no joke, we ate out like 15 times because it was like this big missionary time where we had a bunch of missionaries in. I ate out probably 15, 20 times. Plus, every time, because there's a school attached to it, every time the school makes meatball subs, they like bring us a bunch of meatball subs. And, oh, guys, I can't. It's the Baptist 30-pound, like, you know, you freshman 15, you got your Baptist 30 that you put on. So that was
yeah. I would say that probably applies to Presbyterians as much. But so here's the first. You might be a Presbyterian if you used to be a Baptist.
Oh, and then you got educated.
Yeah, and then you went to seminary.
That's basically my story.
Yeah.
Basically.
Makes sense.
Well, here we got one. Michael S. in the chat. He's giving us one. He says, I'm guessing you might be a Baptist if you believe people in the past had advanced refrigeration techniques that stopped grapes from turning into wine.
Seriously. I remember the first time somebody told me, like, you know, the wine in the Bible was not strong wine. It's like, have you heard the stories of what they did in the Bible when they were drunk? That wasn't water. And if it was, even more sinful.
Yeah, even worse. Even worse. We got Juan Decano and Jerry Moss. I guess that's how you. So who was it? Iron Man. You still haven't told us which stooge is which. He called us the best three stooges. Waiting on the.
Do you know the names of the stooges?
Mo, Curly, and
Leonard. I don't know.
Who's the other one?
Leonard.
Bob.
Derek, the stooge.
I don't know. I'm young.
Millennials.
Yeah. I'll tell you the name of the Animaniacs.
Oh, there you go. We got some real questions. We'll come back to real questions, but we're coming. So here we go. Next one. You might be a Baptist if your tie stops an inch above your navel.
Ooh.
Oh, man. They don't know how to tie them, man.
Yeah.
In Bible college, I would just tie it as big as I could. And then, like, because usually we had to wear, like, sometimes we had to wear suit jackets to all these different events. And so, like, I would literally just come in with, like, the biggest knot in the world, and it literally would only just go right into my vest.
Well, the worse than that is when people tuck it into to the front of their pants. Like,
Why?
Okay, weirdo. What are you trying to do to us?
Easier access.
Get on Amazon and buy
true.
a bow tie and be done with it.
Right.
That's the okay. Number 2, Presbyterian. I don't know that I believe this one, but I found it funny, so I put it in here anyway. It's a long one. You might be Presbyterian if your children's names begin with covenant. In other words, normal people have babies, boys, girls, kids, and or children, and Presbyterians, on the other hand, have covenant children. Instead of introducing your kids as Billy, Bobby, and Susie, it would be more proper to introduce them as Covenant Bill, Covenant Bob, and Covenant Sue.
That was a burn, man. That was burnt.
I feel like this is typical, okay? Like, all the Baptists are like, look how dumb the Baptists are. And then it's like, Presbyterians are like, you know, they know their Bible.
They're like, we're educated.
Dang it.
Well, but if I met anyone that called their child Covenant so-and-so, I'm running.
It's a cult.
Yeah,
you're running.
You know that person's out there, though. They exist.
You probably had to drive like 25 minutes to their farm.
Right.
And you're stuck.
I would say they're a child of a believer. Covenant is an unnecessary redundancy right there.
If it's not in the Bible, I don't believe it.
Yeah, just like Trinity. And then Ruslan got Marcus with well, he didn't, but he should have replied when Marcus talks about the Godhead. And that's how he refers to Godhead doesn't really appear in the original language either. So, anyway. I thought that was funny. Okay, here's a Baptist. You might be Baptist if you clapped in church last Sunday and felt guilty about it all week.
Oh,
bro, not our church.
You never know.
Our church is Baptist.
You never know.
Our church is Baptist-costal, man. We are hooting and hollering Baptists, bro.
See, I like that because in the churches where I grew up, it was always like, is anyone else gonna like? They're kids. We should probably clap for the kids, right? Well, nope. They get an amen, and that's it.
See,
go back to your seat, Bill.
Look at Michael S.'s comment. The SBC was so interesting, it turned me Anglican. That was a good one. Well done, Michael. You got us all cackling.
That is. Well, Iron Man finally piped back in, and he said, Jeremy is Mo for sure. The only one I can decide on. Well, it wasn't Mo the mute, so I have to not talk anymore?
Is that your Presbyterian friend?
Yeah. I guess so. I'm gonna take that.
That's a new level of frozen chosen.
Yeah, we're gonna double up the Baptist one here because what you just said a second ago. You might be Baptist if you think someone who says amen while the pastor is preaching might be a charismatic.
Ooh.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a little
You
bit.
just like you got to check his shoes too.
The Baptist-costals, I like that though. That's a good one.
Is he wearing those loafers?
Penny loafers with a nice shiny penny in them. Shinier the better. Sorry, this is getting real weird.
Okay.
It's a chill street.
You might be a Presbyterian if, when the Spirit comes upon you in power, you don't raise your hands and shout hallelujah. Rather, you scratch your chin, turn to your neighbor, and whisper,
Interesting.
that was a good point.
That hit way too close.
That's real funny.
Like, I literally do that to my wife all the time. That was good.
Oh, maybe you are Presbyterian, Dean.
Well, I'm basically on the way there. Like, let's be honest. Reformed Baptist, you're basically.
It's
just kidding. We're in the middle where we're right.
Where we're right. Oh yes. Here we go. You might be a Baptist if you think God's presence is always strongest in the back pew.
Back row Baptist.
It's closer, so we can go evangelize.
Right.
You know, right after service.
So you can get.
We just want to get out there.
I'm trying to get to the after church lunch as fast as I can.
Ooh.
Or kickoff depends upon who. Ashley's here in the chat, and she says, back to the names. True story. I knew someone who named their daughter Misery. What?
Why?
Why?
What would be the reason?
Do you just not like? You wanted a boy? Is that what that was?
Yeah, right.
We really wanted a boy, so here's Misery for the next. That's awful.
Yeah. I have nothing to say to that. I'm sorry.
I apologize to that girl for us.
Can you imagine just first day of school and what is the teacher thinking?
You're spinning it, aren't you?
I get.
Like you're like Mizari.
I was trying to come up with that.
You're just like, yeah, it's totally not that. You know, this is who I am now.
It's hard enough to convince people and tell them that my daughter's name is Charis because all they see is Charis and go, oh, Charis, nice to meet you. Yes, I named my child after a chair. Come on. But it's a sound like in Christ, okay? We're super Christians. But here we go. We got Bible Man popping in. You know you're a Presbyterian when you finally are walking into your church during a baptism and you think you're in a Catholic church. Yeah, there you go. Throwing in some infant baptism, some jokes. We got Daryl in the chat saying his church, we are a loud Presbyterian church. Hey, Daryl, I got a funny story for you. I was listening to your sermon that was on your channel today, and I put it on 1.75 speed because I was trying to get through it. And my wife walks in and goes, what are you listening to? Because you were already preaching pretty fast, and on 1.75 speed, it sounded like insane. But good job. I enjoyed the sermon.
You guys do that? I never do that. Like I can't handle it.
You don't?
Like I would slow it down if I ever did anything. It's just like I don't even understand what this person is saying.
No.
But
Your brain adjusts so fast, and then when you put it back to normal, it sounds like people are just like talking so slow.
Yeah. Well, and so you're saying if you do an audiobook, you're listening at normal?
Oh yeah,
for podcast normal? Well,
yeah.
I do normal.
I'm going to say, Dean, I thank you for when you do watch my video, you keep the audience retention rate high.
Yeah. You know, I do what I can, you know, help my brothers out.
Ashley popping back in. What is it? It's not evangelism, it's soul winning for Baptists.
Oh, soul winning.
Yeah, because it's about that. Okay, let's go. Presbyterian, back to that. This one, I cracked up at this one. You might be Presbyterian if you think fencing has something to do with the Lord's Supper instead of swords.
Nice.
Wow.
That. All right. That was like the first one for Presby's. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fence the table. Baptist. Here we go. And I don't know if this one is true. You can push back. It's up to you. You might
always do.
You might be a Baptist if you've never sung the third verse of any hymn.
Is that a particularly Baptist thing?
I don't know.
I think it is. Like there's always like it's one.
1,
like
2, 4.
Some
1, 2, 4.
Yeah, usually it's just like up to the music leader.
Yeah.
And they'll just pick one, and then it will always be that. So like it might be the third one, or it might be the second one.
Sure.
Which is awful. Like,
Yeah, there are.
You need to like develop stuff.
Yeah.
But,
As a worship pastor, though, there are times where I've sung hymns for years, and then I go to like look it up, and there's like 3 or 4 extra verses. I'm like, what are these?
Yeah.
This is the new knowledge. I found it.
well,
Oh no.
I think that's called Gnosticism. John.
I'm starting a new religion, guys. Welcome to the stream.
Want to come to my farm?
Well, okay. It's now 1 Baptist, 1 Presbyterian.
Oh, now it's 1-1. Let's go.
We'll bring him back.
I
Bring him back.
Welcome.
Oh, here's a good. Let's get into some stuff. Okay.
All right. Here
Are
we
more
go. Oh, no,
Presbys or
Philip.
Baptist fans of good old Doug Wilson?
Dean needs to answer this so he can get all the hate comments.
I was even going to like make a joke about like, so we're talking about Doug Wilson tonight, right? Be on the lookout. I might be talking some more about him.
Well, we know Costi Hinn isn't a fan. We at least know that.
Oh, I like Costi.
I do
Costi's
too.
a good dude.
Blink twice if you need help, Costi.
Yeah. Costi's cousin used to cut my hair.
Ooh,
And
Really?
he comes from a line of wackadoos, but
still,
Me and his uncle were pretty close.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
that guy does great things.
I had a withered hand. He helped me out. Oh man.
I would probably say Presby's would probably be more fans of him because he's basically Presbyterian, but he like left because different federal vision stuff and
I would
all that
agree,
jazz.
especially because his view of baptism would line more up with Presbyterians, and so from that perspective. But I'll be honest, like I didn't grow up Presbyterian, so I was kind of chosen to be Presbyterian before the foundations of the world, but didn't know it yet, right? No, and I did not know of Doug Wilson until like after seminary, like.
Oh, the age of innocence.
Yeah, so I wish I could go back to that time. Then I got Twitter and realized, whoa, okay. Or I hopped into the Reform Pub on Facebook, and everyone was either loving or hating him, and I'm like, who is this guy? Why do people hate him so much? And then I found out, oh, he has some pretty interesting views. But yeah, we'll not go to that. Okay, I don't even know where we were. At Baptist, so we'll just hit the Baptist again. Oh no, we did the third hymn, so we'll hop down to Presbyterians. Only a few more left.
All right, here we go.
You might be a Presbyterian if you know or you think you know the difference between Calvinist and Reformed.
Interesting.
Because I would agree with that, because a lot of Presbyterians will claim that there's no such thing as a Reformed Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
we've
Those
heard
people are
this,
wrong.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
And your thoughts are.
and that's the end of the stream. And yeah,
Jeremy's got too much power, guys.
I know,
That's
right? Like
Presbyterian.
he's just like
You're
trigger
a
happy.
Presbyterian if you have too much power.
Fine. Here, how about this? Well, Dean.
Oh, look at this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
I think they can still hear us. They just can't see us.
Can it? Yeah, they can.
Let's mute those guys and let's just what?
Back in. Yeah, I've just got too many things to do. I'm just trying to keep the eyes engaged from all the
Jeremy.
changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, can you change people's names? If you could change Dean's to Yukon Cornelius, and just make all our days
let's
better.
not do
Let's
that
keep it
because
going.
that's on the way to the olive stuff, and I've had it.
Yeah. I'm sure those comments actually get
Great.
wrong.
Here we go. You sent me a picture of olives, and I only assumed that it was trolling me Like it's hard. As an Italian, I'm like, do you want me to tell you if those are good olives?
Good olives.
But you don't like olives, right?
No, I don't.
You're not an olive fan.
I'm not a child.
Interesting. So my first experience of an olive was horrible.
Let's dive deep into that.
I was 6 years old, and I was at a birthday party, but not a kid's birthday party. I was at everybody, like, just not for me. And I see this bowl on the table of what I thought were green grapes. And no, so I took a handful of green grapes and threw them in my mouth. And it was a bunch of olives, and I just spit it out. And I got, so I was a scene at the birthday party. We got, wait, what children love olives? Exactly.
Yeah, that's what fingers.
They put them on their fingers and they go crazy with it. We don't
all come from Italian families, okay? So we don't all know this.
It's annoying. The kids with olives hide them.
Okay, here we go. We got one. You know you're a Baptist when you pick a church based on how big the potlucks are. See? It's a Baptist thing. You guys just
let's dive deep into this one for a sec. All right, potlucks suck. that's my hot take tonight.
Like potlucks the only good thing is fried chicken. Fried chicken at a potluck.
Oh well, yeah, because they get it from somewhere. Like most of the time, they're not making it themselves. I'm just saying, like most people can't cook. All right, let me offend everybody. Y'all are not good cooks.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of times it's like, let's put macaroni in this. And it's like, why did you do this?
Yeah, like, I'll be honest. My wife is a professional trained chef. Oh. And so eating anywhere is just like, oh, that was okay. Like, it really puts a damper on life.
Thank you, Michael S. Thank you, Michael S.
That's funny.
It fits.
It does. If the shoe fits. So here's my take on potlucks. And this is what we've started to do at our church. One, food allergies make potlucks really a challenge, actually. Because unless you're going to list all the ingredients and you've got food allergies, you're not coming because you're like, oh, I don't know who put what in what.
Sure.
So what we've done is we provide like the main dish and a few of the sides, and we just have people bring their favorite dessert. So you just have a massive table of desserts, and you just go have a little bit of the main course, and then you can't mess up desserts. I mean, you can, but
you could put coconut in it.
I agree. Coconut's the worst thing ever.
It's like you're expecting chocolate.
I love
there's
coconut.
Just like this texture in it, and it's like, what is this coarse rigidness?
No, coconuts are great. Coconuts are great. I disagree.
Hard pass.
I disagree.
It must be a Presbyterian thing.
Let us know in the chat. Coconut Presbyterian.
Coconut Presbyterian. They're very tropical people.
Okay, so here's my last. Oh, I got a few more. You might be Presbyterian if you change your testimony from "I decided to follow Jesus" to "I never wanted to follow Jesus until."
Smart.
I mean, I would agree.
And right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, see, smart and right.
Right. Ashley asked us if we are all reformed in our soteriology. The answer is yes.
Yes, I would.
We're the Reformed Stooges, is what it is.
Oh, the Reformed Stooges.
I got 5 points. I could tell you that.
5 olive fingers. I'm a 5 olive finger Calvinist.
It's the worst kind of Calvinist.
Oh, good catch. Thank you. Here we go. You might be a Baptist if you have more than one copy of the Baptist Faith and Message, the original and correct version. I don't know what that means, but that's what I found online.
Yeah, that would be Dean.
That's the SBC stuff again.
Yeah,
Baptist Faith and Message is SBC. It's like, I mean, it's an okay document, okay, but like, stop pretending like it's like the end of all.
It's no 1689, huh, Dean?
It's so great. It's not mostly because almost anybody can sign the Baptist Faith and Message, as long as you're like so many of the non-denominational guys could basically sign it and be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Not much.
I agree with that. Here's one, and I'm guilty of this because I think it's funny. You might be a Presbyterian if you've ever answered the question with "How are you doing today?" with "Better than I deserve."
Especially if you do it in a Dave Ramsey accent. Better than I deserve.
Okay.
You're stupid.
You now have to talk in a Dave Ramsey accent for the rest of the stream.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm out. I can't handle it.
Okay, here we go. You might be Baptist if you help put together a secret committee at your church to discuss how to get the pastor to stick to his 30-minute time limit so that you don't get stuck behind the Methodists in line at Luby's or the Piccadilly every week.
Don't know about the stores, but I can see that happening.
Yeah,
in a
committees
Baptist
are a big
church.
thing.
Oh, we just changed the clock, Pastor. It's 5 feet across. Just making sure.
Yeah, Ashley's piping in saying, I'm celiac, so I'm one of those folks that, no gluten. I can't do potlucks. I agree. But
sad.
We've changed. Come visit us in Pittsburgh, Ashley. You can come to, actually, it's World Communion Sunday this week, and we have lunch after. Come join us. So, okay, here's the last Presbyterian one, and this one might start fights, but we'll see. You might be Presbyterian if you've had a fight with your Baptist friend, if he can claim to be Reformed or not.
We're super reformed.
So reformed.
So
We're the
not
most
reformed.
But I couldn't find many that I thought that good. There was a lot listed that I'm like, these are all dumb. So those were the best, unfortunately. So I apologize if they weren't good enough. But
I'm just kidding.
here,
It was good.
We got another one. Here we go. You might be Baptist if you
All right.
grew up squirming on the floor during a business meeting Sunday night.
Oh, and they dragged on for.
I could see that. I could see that.
I want to go home. Diagnosis murder is on.
To be fair, as an adult, that feeling didn't go away. So
Yeah, that's true. Stephanie's here. Brother will let us go at noon if the Cowboys play the early game. There you go. Must be down south. So how's it going, guys? That was a long intro.
Just having fun.
great for the algorithm.
Everyone's like, I'm out. So we're going to chat a little bit for those of you that are here still and made it through all of that mess of whatever that was. We're going to talk a little bit of what it's been like to be a Christian content creator and what it's like to be online. And I mean, we're not by any means the biggest YouTubers out there. No,
Sorry,
but we're the best
Jeremy
looking.
just blew up.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. 98% thanks to Ruslan shouting me out. So
It don't matter.
hey, I'll take it, right?
Yeah.
I'll take it. So first, I guess the question just to put out there is, how did you guys get started doing the digital stuff? You can be somewhat brief because most of the people here probably know, or maybe they don't. Who knows? Because we got people from all of our channels poking in. So whoever wants to go first. How'd you end up doing YouTube?
Dean, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah, I started doing YouTube like a lot of people, I think, around the pandemic. Like we started, I don't know if you were bored, but I was bored. And like a lot of things were closed up here. And I had the idea to try doing YouTube before, but it's hard to get traction, like it's really hard. So after like a couple months, I think I had 50 subscribers and I was like, yeah, I'm calling it quits. So then with the pandemic, didn't really have a lot of options for entertainment, but was still like recording a bunch of stuff of just, I kind of wanted to do like the time capsule thing with the kids and see like this world changing event that was going on that we were all experiencing. How did we get through it? And so I started taking a bunch of videos of me and the kids running around town doing some fun stuff. And the next thing I know, I just, because I care about theology, start talking about theology in it. And next thing I know, it's transitioned from, this like kid vlog channel to talking about theology and doing the things I would normally do if I was sitting down with someone. Spent a decade in pastoral ministry. Right now we're working on church plant in Saskatchewan. So, it's like my life is theology, like maybe not like the highfalutin ivory tower type of theology, but sit down at a table with somebody and talk about what the Bible says. So, and I've always liked doing videos. That was something like running around with my friends in high school making movies. We had like a James Bond movie, like horror movies, things like that, just having fun as a kid. And so I've always been interested in YouTube and, Casey Neistat when he was going, I was watching that kind of stuff. And so I was like, all right, might as well give it a shot. And next thing I know, people are actually like listening to me. And then I started hanging out with these kinds of guys, and that was pretty fun. And so far, it's been pretty good overall.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, for me, so the journey like really started with our previous church we were part of for 10 years, ended up going south. And like I originally started because I was preaching every other week. I was like, man, I need to like keep that sharp, keep that, keep that muscle kind of worked out. And so I started with kind of just Bible teaching, and mine was after the pandemic. So I started about a year ago. And yeah, it really came as a result
over?
Because what's that?
It's over?
It came a year ago, done.
What did anyone tell me?
No, so it just started because I was like, I've got to keep that sharp. And I've always done video. I've done video for churches for years and years and years. And so that's like something I love doing. So I was like, you know what? I don't know. And still at this point, me and my wife are praying through. We're like, are we called to lead, be a lead pastor in a church? I don't know. Like maybe the Lord was keeping us for something because that wasn't his desire for us. So we're still kind of working through that, but it was super helpful that I was like, look, communicating. I've always been the kind of person where like, if I learn something, this is to a fault sometimes. If I learn something, I want to share it with somebody. And that's how I kind of get it down into my bones a little bit more. And so it was a process of like, look, I'm going to keep talking about the stuff that I'm always reading about, always thinking about. I went to school for this. And so I was like, this is just the natural, if I have nothing else that I can do right now, this is what I'm going to do. And so, yeah. What about for you, Jeremy?
It was my church. We started by going into the New City Catechism. And so I made I committed to doing 52 videos once a week for my church. And that really like made me learn editing and video in a very fast, not ready to do it. Like if I go back to those first New City, I'm like, ow, it's like, it's rough.
Yeah.
And then what I also started realizing is I enjoyed doing that, but people don't want to interact with an institution. They want to interact with a human being. And so even though I could have done exactly what I'm doing right now on the church channel, it really didn't make sense because it wasn't personable enough. And so I started just doing this stuff on my own channel, and now it's kind of just grown into more than just church stuff. But I'm always floored at how many, because I work with high school, middle school kids as well as others, but mostly there. And I'm still floored at how many of them just were like, hey, I watched your video last week. I'm like, really? Cool. Like I don't push it with them, but they still find it. So it's always in the back of my mind, like, please keep watching. You keep making my demographic look nice and young, but I don't care who watches as long as they're being encouraged. So that's how I got started. And then it's kind of just snowballed out of there. We got a good question here. Oh, it just went away. No, here it is. It is all the same. So we're trying something new. This is a paired stream. So what's happening is every single person's channel is kind of shown this. So you could have come from my channel, you could have come from John or Dean's, but it all ends in the same place, which is, I think, kind of cool. It makes it be fun and have fun. So,
it's the Captain Planet of streams with our powers combined.
Look who was in the chat. Man, Dean was in the chat.
Latino.
Who took your? That he must not have been listening to John. He was doing this while John was talking.
Thanks.
Who cares?
Quiz real quick. What did I say?
Good. There was a question up here. I like this point. Talking about, we're going back a little ways, but we combine them, the business meeting with the prayer meeting, to make them extra long. Yeah, if you leave during the prayer.
Snooze fest. I like prayer. But there are times where prayer meetings, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I'm done. Because it's always at nighttime.
Have you had someone fall asleep during prayer meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everybody has, right?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty funny when that happens.
But granted, it's a person on a Sunday morning during like loud worship music. They're sitting there and just nodding off all the time. Like, you must have something. Something's wrong. Like,
So here's a good question. Are you guys going to watch the debate between Dr. Bingen, French Calvinist philosopher, against Dr. Kirk McGregor, Molinist, Problem of Evil, Gospel Truth YouTube channel? This is the first I'm hearing of it. I like that stuff, but it'll probably be when I have time. Time is scarce.
Yeah,
But-
like apologetics really, like, isn't my jam. Like, I don't really do a lot of like, as far as like defending the faith kind of stuff.
Sure.
I'm more talking about within the faith. But I mean, like, if that's your jam, go for it. But yeah, I
Jam
probably
away.
won't be catching it.
yeah, I have zero interest in it. Like, I've got other stuff I got to do. I like, maybe if it was in a season of life where we didn't have young kids and there wasn't constant stuff happening, but right now, my like leisure listening is not going to be that.
Yeah, I get you.
So
Yeah, I'm. This one might be a catch up later while I'm doing the dishes.
Yeah.
But there's too many Theo lives that I got to be ready for, and
yeah,
Friday morning I was bummed there was no Bible rhythms. I guess next week.
It's every other
But
week.
I know.
This is a chill stream.
I'll be busy. Yeah, there we go. Chill stream. See?
Technically, I stuck to my schedule.
yeah.
I like how that happened without even planning. Oh, here we go. I have been in Baptist business meetings where people were about to throw hands, had to go.
Oh yeah.
It's not been that bad for me. Our session
yeah.
meetings don't get.
We've
quite that
had it
heated.
pretty bad.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I've seen
And that-
church
hey-
splits over stupid boilers. Like
that
obviously
sucks.
there's always more stuff that goes into it. It's not just a boiler, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sometimes people
There are
get so
times
upset
where-
about dumb things.
There are times where the arguing at least makes it like enjoyable to be there. You're like, all right, man, let's do this. Family outings. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I always go like those are the moments where I'm really good at. Like I'm good under pressure. I'm good with conflict. Like I don't look for it. I don't seek it out. But the Lord has just kind of worked that in my heart that I can roll with the punches, like sometimes literally. So like, yeah, I've had
you
to
did grow up across from what, like Murder Park or whatever it is?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a callback. But yeah, it's the business meetings can, like, it's beautiful when it's done right and you can just get, practical things done. But there is something about practical things that like brings out a lot of nasty character sometimes. And so Robert's Rules of Order, it's there for a reason, guys.
And
like
I'm
those
a
are
fan,
helpful.
too.
It's always people that you wish, you're like, man, I wish you cared this much about theology. If you cared this much about theology as much as you did about like
The color of the carpet.
right, like that'd be amazing.
Or if you cared about your family as much. Oh, no.
Ooh. DJ Horn, where is he?
Yeah, DJ Horn.
People are going to come for me.
Here we go. Leavened or unleavened bread for communion? Why or why not? Does it even matter?
I don't think it matters as long as you're ripping it like Jesus tore it. So like I get real literal about that kind of stuff. And then like as long as it's in your mouth and you're like crunching it to think of like the body being broken, like that idea of brokenness, it needs to be there. So like if it's like you can't have it with like a soft noodle kind of bread, like so that's my
bread, man.
Like I know people do it differently, but that's where I roll with it.
Yeah. We've gone to different things, and we don't have a theological position on what it has to be. But for the sake of the body, what we've started to do is we used to have like an Irish soda bread, which was softer and actually kind of tasted good. And for the sake of the gluten-free and the celiac in our midst, we've actually switched to a crunchier cracker. We still have a piece of bread that's done up during the words of institution that's torn, but then the crackers are a little bit more crunchy. Hadn't thought of the breaking in that way, but I like that. So that's what we've done. But you would think when we changed, I mean, we just said it, but like when we changed the bread, there was a like, why? How could you ever? Jesus had Irish soda bread. Why don't we have Irish? I'm like, I don't know about that. We're not being quite that literal here. Oh, yeah, good stuff. So here we go. A few more comments coming. If you guys got questions, let us know.
Yeah,
One thing I have found in all denominations, I've been to from Indy to SBC to UMC to Anglican, church meetings are rough across the board.
Yeah. It's because people are in them.
Yeah.
And people are sinners.
I would say the caveat is yes, but I think that doesn't always have to be the case, and you can start to change a culture.
Yes.
Over time. And so if the culture changes with the leadership changing, I think you can do that. Like we were at a point before I came to this church, long before. I mean, when our elder meetings would happen, our session meetings would happen, there were assigned seats by alphabetical order. By alphabetical order. And if you got married and your name changed, you moved seats. Like it was that and you would, and it wasn't because of punching, but it was like that regimented and that like controlled. And I've found that type of controlled environment actually tends towards more fights, as opposed to a more like we're brothers and sisters in Christ. We love each other. Like we're here for the kingdom work, not to protect our own little thing. I think when you, so I think the attitude can change when you build a different culture.
I think I agree with that. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're having fights every business meeting, there's
we only had at our church, we had one business meeting a year. And so it was like the big, and like people
we call it congregational meetings. Yeah.
Like I get people care about the budget and how money's spent. You should. But when you're like nitpicking it to the point of like, are you guys spending this much on toilet paper? I'm like, ma'am, you don't know my stomach issues. Okay. Leave me alone. Just kidding.
Taco Bell's just down the street.
Yeah.
I need 3 ply.
Yeah.
So that's a difference in polity for us because we're ruled by a board of elders. A board of elders. Yeah. The budget is set by the elders. Yeah. It's made known to the congregation, and out of love, we have conversations openly about the budget, but technically there's no authority there to change it if they disagree with what the elders have done. And there's been some points of contention there. For us, the tensest meetings I've been in are particularly when we moved denominations, when we left the PCUSA and moved into the EPC. Those were some
smart moves.
I bet.
Those were some
smart
meetings.
Moves.
Yeah, I was in
Who
the
was arguing to stay in the PCUSA?
The Pittsburgh Presbyterian.
Okay.
So what ended up happening?
Names, please. Names.
Yeah. I want people to call. Your Baptist brothers are angry.
So there was a church member or two who had brought along a member of the Pittsburgh Presbyterian, and the only people that have voice and vote at a congregational meeting are members of the church. Yeah. And so guests can be there, but you don't have voice or vote. And so this person tried to start speaking, who was not a member of the church, and they were trying to basically put the balloon out there. Like, if there's a remnant that wants this building and wants this property, that is the true church in the PCUSA, we can make that happen. Like, they were literally trying to divide it. When the vote went through. Yeah, exactly. When the vote went through, we were above 95% decided to go, or decided to leave and go to a different denomination. So it was all just for, it was just a fight, right?
Put a Beans comment, somebody.
I have such a hard time keeping a straight face sometimes.
It so excites me.
I missed it here. What was this? Okay. 9, watching Dean's stream, and 6 likes. For shame, you unholy trinity. And then Dean comes in with this is what it was. Okay.
I hear somebody said it. It wasn't me.
Said it. It's gotta be true.
Wait, so if we don't go like our own video, we've got demons.
I do that. You gotta.
I mean, we go onto each other.
I know, that's true.
And like those.
That's true. Okay, here's another question coming in. On a more serious question, do you all think we have made the gospel more complicated and confusing now that it is much more accessible and open to so much more interpretation and analysis? Have we made it?
Yes and no. I get what he's saying with that, because there is something to the fact that we all can like look at like 9 translations on our phones, look at all kinds of commentaries, have access to so much information that those who care to like look at the gospel can look at it like deeper than probably any average person, throughout history. So like that is, and some people do it. Like some people make the gospel way more complicated than it needs to be. And then you can get into legalism. You can get into all kinds of different problems with that. But, like I think that we also, like if we're being smart and looking at it, like I think it's good to look at it that deeply.
Yeah.
And then if we're being smart and looking at that, we can see how simple it is. And then, other things, we could debate about the other things, but
I feel too, though, that the issue in the church right now is not the people looking too deeply at stuff. It's the people not looking at all. And it's like, claiming Christ and having no walk with Jesus, So that, to me, the danger is not like, oh no, they're going to study too much and they're going to, get in their heads about this. It's like, goodness gracious, could you please use your mind a little bit?
Well, I think the danger is also, though, at things being added to the gospel, right? Paul says, I came and I preached Christ and him crucified. And I think that the beauty and the simplicity of that is important. And this is why I think much of the problem, and I see this often with the students I work with and the college young people I talk to, there's so many questions they bring before they've even thought about and investigated Jesus that they can never even get to the gospel. Because they're like, if you can't answer this, all these things. But yeah, I think the danger is adding things. And we've seen that, right? When secondary things become primary things. That's Dean talks a lot about that, when things start to become fundamentalism and you boil it all down. I mean, there were comments on my stream or the video that blew up recently, basically like telling me that my interpretation meant like I was going to hell, basically. And I'm like, no,
you don't get to decide though.
I just read the text literally and I explained it. I'm sorry, but you know what is? Here we go. Back to not liking is anathema. So
Philip is so wise.
There may not be. And then the follow up, I liked it. I had to. Well, Dean, I guess I need to go find a Benny Hinn rally to cast them out.
Is that what he does?
I know a guy. I know a person who cuts hair. He can introduce you.
You need to pop over to Isaiah Saldivar's channel. He can help you with that, I guess.
Who's that?
Yeah, don't go into that rabbit hole.
Don't.
Yeah, don't.
I don't know. I don't watch stuff, guys. I watch Ruslan, and it's kind of
so. But talking about content creation, though, have you guys noticed a shift of, at one point you're consuming more content than you're making? Have you noticed a shift in you of making more content than you're consuming? Because, like, for me, I remember I would watch everything Think Media put out, everything, and I still, for the most part, do. But like, I would spend so much time watching videos about making YouTube videos, and now I've heard them enough to go, okay, nobody is saying anything that's not already been said 1,000 times. And so what it's done for me is, like, every time I notice myself wanting to watch those things, if it's like my time would be better used, like just sitting down and filming a short that takes all of 10 minutes, like that would be better for my channel than hearing somebody say, be consistent one more time. Like,
sure.
Have you noticed that yourselves where you're kind of making more than you're consuming, or?
Sure.
Yes and no. I think that part of the thing that I enjoy about particularly the Christian content creators and the circle that we've been running in and people that we've been getting to know is the thing I really appreciate is that everyone's cheering everyone else on. And so that makes me want to like watch people that I may not really know, but I've started to get to know.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I think you're right. Like the Think Media guys and some of that other stuff that's kind of big picture, like here's how to make some videos, just press record. I'm like, we hit record. We're here. Okay, move on.
Fear the face. I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. I don't want to punch anymore.
He punches back sometimes.
Well, and so, but I also think the thing I enjoy about consuming content is one, it's the one time a little bit sometimes where I'm not thinking, oh, that could be a video, that could be a video, that could be a video, right? When I'm just enjoying something. And I'm not just trying to think of like, how do I build the channel? But for me, the big thing is I'm trying to make sure I'm intentional about when I'm here and present for my family, right? It'd be too easy to have a headphone in all the time and listening to something and doing, and that could be me if I'm not careful.
My wife literally talked to me about that yesterday. So I think I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you guys. Like, making stuff has made me really focus on actually making stuff. Like, consuming, like, I still do it. Like, I'm there for a lot of Ruslan's streams. I didn't really watch him before. Like, there was something that happened, and then he started interacting a little bit with my channel. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to watch this guy. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like, that's how I found John. And that's how I found you, Jeremy, was through John. Like that kind of stuff is really cool. So consuming does help in those kinds of ways of developing relationships and learning from people and learning what they're doing right and wrong. But yeah, like when you start making stuff, you really have to focus on your time and how much time are you going to invest in this thing. And, you know, like I do have a little bit more time than probably you guys. And so like, I hope that I don't know, Jeremy, you're just like 8,000 shorts a day,
bro.
Like,
when do you sleep?
It just keeps on coming. I don't even know how you do it. Like,
guys,
have you been making shorts since you were 18?
The past 4 days, I've posted 300 videos.
in 7 days, 29 videos. Yeah.
See, that's crazy. But yeah, so like I can use my time a little bit more to focus on some of this kind of stuff to try to build up a little bit of finances for other ministry endeavors and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, like you got to be smart about, you know, what you're consuming and what you're trying to, you know, invest in. Like, yeah, those Think Media videos, they were really helpful to get started for sure. And they're like, they keep on saying the same things because new people keep on watching it and they need to hear that too.
Right.
But for like us who have seen all those videos and been told to punch fear in the face and just record and be consistent and all those kinds of things over and over again, you know, it's probably not a great use of time to be watching those kinds of things. And then also like, you got to be careful about, you know, just like getting sucked into like what I can make, you know, by watching. Like, for me, like, it's a real problem of looking at, you know, I don't enjoy listening to Doug Wilson. I'm bringing him up again. But like, I don't enjoy listening to him. I don't find him to be helpful in anything. Really anything. That's just me. Don't take it out on those guys. But I find myself every once in a while watching one of his videos. Like, why am I doing that? Well, sometimes I feel like it's a good thing to learn something all right, should I make a video about this? Because it's really popular, and whether it's a good belief or a bad belief, I want to be able to explain that through the lens of scripture. But, you know, other times it's like, you really don't need to watch that. Like, it's just a waste of time. It's just 7 minutes of something else that you think, oh, I might use it in my channel, but it's just a poor investment. So like balancing those things it's a difficult thing that every creator has to figure out for themselves of, you know, watching that same person talk about that same thing over and over again, thinking, you know, maybe this time he'll say something that I can make a video out of. Like that's a dangerous trap.
Yeah.
Well, and here's my wise thing that I've learned and how I pumped out so many videos this past week is my wife wanted to watch Dahmer. And so what am I doing while I'm sitting next to her watching Dahmer? I don't really want to watch, but I want to be there with her. I'm just cutting up everything into shorts while it's on the TV. But I will say the thing that's been helpful in learning isn't so much the videos on particularly Think Media, Nolan Molt and Omar and those guys, but it's been when they've done some of the podcast stuff and brought in other people that have talked about their process. Like I'm never going to go watch Alex Hermosi, but it was very interesting to listen to how he goes about content creation.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was very interesting how Gary Vee approaches content creation. And so I think that there's always things to learn in that area, but I agree. I think we're past, we're all in a lot of that same space where it's like, okay, I've learned the basics. I don't necessarily need, I hate you.
Demon.
It does. John made a video about that.
I can't help myself.
People can't see that joke in the other chats.
Oh, they can't. They just see it on. They just
only
see
on Dean's.
So we see them combined, but they see them on individual channels.
Oh, okay.
For everybody who hasn't known the jokes yet, Dean is saying everything gives you demons.
I heard it. Maybe it was a video I shouldn't have been watching, but I watched it.
Yeah.
Okay, Dean, I'm going to ask you point blank. Am I a heretic?
Yes. Just kidding.
Do I have demons?
Can you go full screen for me for a second?
No.
I've been waiting for this opportunity.
Oh, he put the red background on.
It matches the hat.
Yeah, it looks very New Order-esque.
No, you're not a heretic, Jeremy. You're just wrong about baptism, and that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we got another Jeremy in the chat.
Oh, do we? Look at that.
Jeremy exclamation point. And that's a Jeremy that I think should start creating content. And I've talked to you about it multiple times. Start a channel, Jeremy exclamation point.
Do it,
guy. The Jeremy Toro of Orlando, Florida.
There you go.
He needs to start.
What's his address?
His social security number is.
Oh, there was one kid. I remember it was early days of Facebook, so it was like a while ago, and they got a brand new debit card, and they were so excited. They took a picture and put it up on Facebook, holding up their debit card, and I had to call their mom and be like, "Listen, you need to take that down and cancel that card right now."
Silly. So,
excited.
Any more content creation talk?
Okay, Jeremy, coming in here and stirring the waters.
Hey, Jeremy is part of our Baptist network, my friend. We just launched their church out a year ago. They're doing great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go. Grace Community Church statement on watching Dahmer says, gives you demons.
It'll give you demons.
That was part of the letter, I think. That he wrote to Newsom.
I didn't read it. I'm
pretty sure Dahmer was in it. I will say, myself, guys. I'm sorry.
It has been really creepy to see how some people have made content like glorifying him, and that's been weird.
People got mad at me.
Not my
for
world,
saying,
man.
People got mad at me for saying that he might be in heaven. If he truly did repent and truly did believe, he would be in heaven. Mm-hmm. And people were like, "No." Well, Jesus apparently not strong enough then.
I get that he's a murderer, but I really don't know anything about him. So, I just see you guys making videos about it.
Yeah. I didn't make any. I have to watch it.
The point of it is he's a great Christian man.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You should make
that another short.
Now John's a heretic.
Oh my. Okay, let's go back up. There were some comments. Where was it? Oh, here we go. Was this one I already did? Yeah, we did that one already. See, this is why I'm not good at this. But here, Mike West popping in again. I agree with John, but I think a lot of not thinking as deeply is because there are 100 experienced, learned people that have different opinions. What's the point if there's a counterpoint to everything?
Yeah, if it's all a house of learned doctors.
It can feel that way sometimes, to be honest. Mm-hmm. You're just like, is there an answer to anything? Everyone's like, oh, it's nuanced, this position.
Right.
It's hard.
To connect those two thoughts, the content creation thought as well. When you're doing YouTube, everybody gives you, make long form content, hour-long content. That's going to be make a 2-hour-long thing. And then somebody's like, make a 3-minute punchy video, and that's going to be the one thing that works. And everybody's got this one thing that's going to work for you, and it's like, man, I feel like you just make content and you keep doing that consistently, and the algorithm will find people who enjoy what you're doing.
and then you make content about bigger content creators, and they
Yeah.
shout out your video.
Yeah, and you
And
explode.
you gain
And it's
500
all worth it.
subscribers in a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Philip
Okay, I have a
popping back
question for
in.
you guys.
Well, hold
Let's
on.
go.
Well,
Okay.
let Philip make fun of me first.
Okay.
Not making a video about it isn't less of a sin, Jeremy. So I didn't make a Dahmer video. Apparently, I still have demons. So go ahead.
It's the video sin of omission. So
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I didn't make a video.
Okay.
High five. No.
This is too complicated. I
This
can't do
helped
this.
terribly.
I can't. The only way I have any like ability whatsoever is with a basketball in my hand. Otherwise, I'm like the most uncoordinated person on the planet.
Okay, so with YouTube, what is different about being a content creator than you thought it would be? So like you started out with this idea of how it was going to go, and what changed? What changed about your content? What changed about your idea about YouTube? Like, what's that been like?
Well, Bible studies, man. I thought like, like I'll make Bible studies and people will love it, especially like that's kind of how I transitioned to talking about theology on my videos. Is like up here, like things were shut down, like shut down, you know? And so people weren't able to go to their Bible studies. And so that's how I started doing like more videos, was marking up the word. I had no idea that John Piper had been doing it for years. Like I was like, oh, this is new.
This is
And
a
like
brand
I'm gonna
new
mark
thing.
up the text. I'm gonna look at the book. You know, like, did not know that he had been doing it for so long. But yeah, I was like, okay, well, people need Bible studies and they can't make it out to Wednesday night and Sunday night. Like if they were meeting, especially early on, it was only like Sunday morning. And so I was like, oh, there's a gap here. I can fill this in and, you know, do this Bible study. And people were asking me to do it. And then nobody watched. And I kept on doing it because I love the Bible and I love doing that kind of stuff. But I was like, man, like everyone's going to just, like, they're going to come for this. They're Christians. They're going to come for this. And then they didn't. And so like transitioning to talking about, oh, this is this popular thing was like a really hard thing for me to learn. I did not want to do it. Like it seemed like at the time, like the way that I was thinking, the way that I was viewing it, and the way that I was seeing other people do it was all like, well, this person is the worst, and that person is also the worst because of this different thing, and you know, just all that kind of stuff. And some people might accuse me of falling into that trap sometimes, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try to walk the line. But yeah, that was probably the biggest thing, was like figuring out, okay, Christians, like they love the Bible, but they might not like, not everyone's going to come and find your Bible study. And that was like, it was like kind of heartbreaking, to be honest. Like I was like, oh man.
Yeah. So what I've realized is, I think that's what I was surprised. I shared this with you guys before, but that's what I was so surprised about, the comments that I got from the Ruslan Michael or Marcus Rogers video that just went off for me, because most of the positive comments were like, wow, I really appreciated your Bible teaching, right? Like I really appreciated the way you talked about it. And some of you might even be here who just newly subscribed to my channel. And so I think that it's strange, because I think people want that, but that's not what they're going to find your channel for.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that they can find that eventually, like, right. So like the people that come aren't going to find your channel because of Bible rhythms, but they're going to watch Bible rhythms once they're on your channel. I can't say rhythms, apparently.
It's hard. It's hard to type too.
You are going to be the next Carl Lentz. So
thanks, Joe. If you're watching this, thanks, Joe. I know we're hanging out tomorrow, but thanks a lot.
So here's a legitimate question, and guys, this is where we've been at. So Jeremy's, I thought it was Ashley said, Jeremy brought this in, and we've been talking about this a lot, right? In our little private chat we've had. What advice do you give to Christian content creators who get stuck responding to critics' legitimate questions in the comments section? At what point do you ignore, or should you engage?
I ignore. I have not seen one single time where it was a helpful conversation to engage in. And if I really like have real thoughts about it, just make another video about it. Like that's, you know, your whole goal as a content creator is like make more content. Okay. Well, instead of typing it all out in a chain of messages that are books long and all that kind of stuff. Just make another video about it. I don't know. I feel like the comment section on YouTube is so dead, and it's just so pointless. But that's just me.
I'm getting that way. Like at the beginning, I was like, oh, a lot of people are pretty positive on here on these videos saying thanks, and stuff like that. And yeah, you would get a criticism every once in a while, but as the channel gets bigger, you get a lot more. And like lately, I've been getting like tons. And like for a while, I was really trying to answer people because, I don't know. I want to think the best of people. I want to think that they're asking legitimate questions. Sometimes you're just like, oh, that's crazy. I ain't got time for that. But some people are like I have this question, and so I'm thinking, okay, well, I can answer it, and then that leads to now I just want to give my point of view.
Right, and then they use the same exact arguments, and you see them on different people's channels saying the exact same.
Yeah, copy.
They're like literally searching. They're searching for arguments to start, and it's like, oh, you suck. I hate that.
Yeah. For me, it's even gotten like I try to be really transparent with my audience. Like, got a lot of my friends who are in my audience here in the chat. Like, I like these guys quite a bit. So I try to like open myself up to like, hey, you want to hit me up on Instagram? Like, hit me up. Like, we can message and dialogue back and forth. I think I might just have to shut that down. I just get too much, and like people trying to like take a lot of my time, and like it's not on you. Like, it's not like you're not worth it, but like I only have so much time to be doing stuff. Like it's me making these videos. Like, it's all of us are just one person, like organizations, I guess. But like we don't have anyone else to do our social media, to answer those comments. It's all us, and we only have so much time. And so like for me, I was really like optimistic, that like, oh, I could have like this relationship with everyone in my audience, and I just can't. Like, I don't have the bandwidth for it. Like I'm an introvert. And as much as I like might not seem that way sometimes on video, I definitely am. And so like when I get all that, it's really hard to like respond to all that kind of stuff. So for me, yeah, and it's not like a lot of it isn't helpful. Like I get a lot of people who are like, I would like the opportunity to change your mind. Like,
Nope.
If you say that, I'm not having a conversation with you because one, you're not going to change my mind. Like, most likely, like I'm a reasonable guy, but I'm pretty set in my beliefs. So like, unless you're coming at me with like, you got a doctorate or something, like I'm not trying to like do like education wise, but just like, if you're like a doctor coming in and giving me new information, then maybe, but like, yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. It's like, I just can't do that. I don't have the bandwidth for it. I don't have the time for it. And as much as I care about my audience and I want to have, relationship through the comments, I just can't do all the extra stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, that was one of those things that I thought was going to be, like I like the same exact thing as you guys. Started out with Bible studies, thought that was going to be like helpful. And then you realize those are not, they are helpful, but they're not the way people get to your channel. The on-ramps are talking about things that are trending, trend surfing. But then understanding, like, even when you do those Bible studies or any of that, like, man, I get told I'm going to hell like once a day. Like,
I get called woke
you're going to
like
hell. Yeah.
5 times a week.
Right.
Well, just wait till the short that comes out. Just watch. He calls himself woke.
Oh yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't.
But
I've
told like my wife, she's talked about starting and she'd be amazing as a chef. Like, that stuff is great.
Yeah.
But she's like, I just don't want to deal with the trolls. I'm like, yeah, like that sucks. That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have to deal with them though. You can actually just straight up ignore them.
It's hard. What I would say is I purposely tried to engage everyone on this last video that went off, mainly because I wanted it to keep going off. But
more engagement.
But what I realized in that is most people are trying to trap you, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's intentionally a trap. So I will usually give at least one reply if I think it's a genuine question. And I will know very quickly in that response whether or not this is anything to keep going. But back to Jeremy's point, or his main question was like, should we engage? And you said it in passing, John, but I think you can look at that and go, okay, is this the basis for my next video? Not calling out the person in the comments, but maybe there was a place in your teaching that wasn't clear, or a way that you could explain something, like if we're talking about the Trinity and you might have been erring on the side of modalism unintentionally, maybe you can be more clear with a different teaching. I did that a little bit with one of my videos where a while ago I made a video saying, is eating shrimp a sin? And then recently I made a second video of that, which was like, was I wrong? And I was clearer in my second teaching, because when I saw the comments on that first video, I realized, wow, maybe I wasn't clear enough, so let me be clearer. So I think that can drive some new videos without like putting the person on blast that's in your comment section. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, but then you just get that same person commenting that you're a heretic on 2 videos now. Hey, it's engagement.
That's true. And I had that happen on Twitter. I made a comment. I think I told you guys. I had a comment on Twitter that I should have just let go. I think it was like the new evangelicals or whoever, just no longer a Christian really, and is happy about it. And I made a comment, and man, the people that came after me was like, man, if they're probably the same people that saw your orthodoxy video, Dean, and that's what it felt like. And I just had to put Twitter down and walk away. Bye. But yeah. So a few more good thoughts here. I appreciate you guys being here in the chat, making this work. Philip says, thoughts on mainly following dead theologians, since living ones can change stances and cause faith to shake and be shaken. This is kind of what we talked about, John, back on a live stream a while ago about current worship and worship leaders. Similar thing. What do you guys think?
It's hard. Like it like in this world where so many leaders fail, like it's really hard to like put your hopes in a guy who's still around.
Yeah.
So I've kind of come around to that. Like I try to be optimistic toward where people are going to end up. But yeah, overall, like the vast majority of the theologians that I read, that I look up to, they're all in the ground. At least they're bodies. They're bodies.
You can't be reformed if you're not only reading dead guys, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, I would rather read dead guys any day of the week, because if they're a theologian that's worth their, weight, is that the term? Worth their weight. If they're worth good theology,
sure,
they will be speaking on stuff that will be applicable today, because the human heart is still the human heart. So it's like, I would rather read guys that I know weren't as distracted as our day and age. There still is distractions, no doubt. But like, there is a difference between a Puritan and how they were living their life and what they surrounded their life with and what we're currently dealing with.
Yeah,
and so there is a clarity of thought difference, So I don't know. I definitely prefer the old daddies, the daddies. Sorry.
Oh my
Okay, ending on that. No, but yeah, I think for all
I
those
kinda like
reasons,
it though.
yeah,
The daddies. That's gonna be our stream shirt. Whenever we do show stream, we're the daddies.
No,
that's the worst thing ever. Love it though. I'm into it. I hate it. I love it.
So here's,
I'm making it.
I appreciate Ashley hopping in on this topic, because I think this is something she sees a lot. She's a virtual assistant for YouTube channels. You guys should go follow her channel. She's got a video coming out soon talking about block scheduling as a virtual assistant. But here she says, as a virtual assistant, don't read the comments. It's bad for your mental health. Trust me. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I'm sure Ashley's seen some crazy stuff with the people she works with.
Yeah, it is much harder for women too online. Like, let's just be honest. They got to deal with a whole different thing. So, but yeah, it's hard sometimes looking in that comment section.
I love the daddy hoodie.
As long as it's a picture of like Calvin and Spurgeon and like,
and the daddies. Yeah. And then we're going to make a whole line of like young dad stuff, like daddy strollers. That's going to be great.
Is
my
this,
goodness.
Is this the
like,
new
it sounded
young,
so wrong
reformed?
when you first said it.
But now it's great. And we're going to make it, and it's going to sell to only us 3. That's it.
I don't know. Philip might buy something.
Yeah, he might. He might.
Thunderberg.
He might. So
He's
as
the
we're
Thunderberg father. Sorry.
as we're closing out here, what's something either you've done recently you want to point people to that they might have missed, or something you got coming up that you're excited about? I'll start. I tried something today. I don't know if it's going to work. I tried a live Bible review with a Bible study of that Bible, using that Bible and those Bible study notes that I'm going to try to chop up into 2 different videos. But I don't know, live stream
2
Bible
or
review?
200.
Well, that too, yeah.
Well,
That's good, man.
This stream alone is going to be like 75 shorts.
Just
I'll
all
send
super offensive things. Trying to get us canceled so your channel takes off.
Oh, it's definitely just that Daddy's one is a short, a 2-second short. Daddy.
Yeah.
For me, I'm Theo Live on Mondays. Like I don't know. I've gone back and forth about like what to make on my channel. Like everyone else, like it's always like, do I change everything or do I keep on doing the same thing? Like it's always the question. So for right now, I'm doing it. And even like I did watch one of those Think Media videos where they talk about Ruslan, and it's like, yeah, that was my original idea with my show, was to do different segments and then, clip them out and have those go up through the week. And then I got away from that because when I talked about big topics, it seemed like that did better. And so I'm trying to get back to my original idea with Theo Live again. So we'll see. But, so I got that on Mondays and then streams throughout the week. I'm trying to get to do more streams. And it's hard because, I'm just in my basement. You might have even heard, like, I got kids running upstairs, doing stuff. It's time for their bedtime, basically. They're with mom. It's okay. Okay. Like, they're being watched.
Just Lord of the Flies up there. No big deal.
Yeah, it's all right. So it's a harpoon gun. What's the worst that could happen? But yeah, so like, just doing my normal stuff. So like, I'm excited to keep on going. I'm almost at 2,000, and like all of us, like Jeremy, you hit 1,000. John, you're almost at 800, right? Or did you pass it already?
Yeah, it was funny. I took a picture of like 700 celebration, and a day and a half later is at 775. I'm like, oh, that was fast. Like,
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So like all that kind of stuff, it helps to like know, all right, what's that next number? It's not even just about like getting more people. It's also about like keeping motivated and knowing doing something right, that people are coming and watching and staying. So all that kind of stuff, that keeps me energized.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Mike, we'll be praying for you in that. That's hard, but I hope and pray that you can find a place. The local church, we are all 3 people who fully are behind the local church and the role of the local church and the believer. And I think that's so important. That and the Daddies, those 2 things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the thing I have next, got this new hat called the Daddy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 hours is exactly.
I am excited to review this.
Ooh.
What is that?
Tyler Bible.
Yes, that's awesome.
Oh, is that one?
Go.
Wow.
You gotta do the hand behind the makeup tutorial.
Oh, is that how you do it?
How do you do that?
I
with
just
a
got an
Bible?
autofocus lens. I don't know.
Hey, there went. It worked.
Oh.
Another short. Yeah, I don't know. I just did a video on the Dante Bow. Obviously, I know a ton about it. I just did a video on that, and that exploded, so you can watch that. But I like really cinematic Bible reviews, so I'm going to do a really cinematic one with that.
Yes.
And I thought about making that a separate channel, because there's no way that people who are like, oh man, that was really cool Dante Bow video, thanks for the Bible review. There's no way they're going to care. Maybe they will.
Maybe
they will. But I'm like, oh, what if I started a cinematic Bible review channel, and then I know that I would just get too in the weeds. So I might as well just throw everything on one
Would you
channel.
enjoy it? Just honestly, like if that was like your main thing, would you enjoy it?
No.
You think?
If reviewing Bibles was my main thing, no.
Yeah.
Like I thought
same.
about that, because that's a way faster way. Dude, if you do Bible reviews, like the Bible review blog, Tim Wildsmith knew what he was doing. Like this is not going to be fun, but this is going to make you, I mean, honestly, let's be real. it's going to make him a lot of money with affiliate links and all that kind of stuff. It's going to make some cash.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, it's a smart move, but it would just kill me to do the same video essentially over and over and over and over.
Same here.
So
that's why I try to switch it up and do something different-ish. And I'm only going to really review Bibles that I think actually my audience, you guys watching, would be interested in, right? Like,
Right.
I think if that's the connection, that makes sense. So I might be doing one a month, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. But
that, again, like, it goes back to funny when we were talking about what you started with that you thought was going to be different. I remember telling Dean, like, I started because I wanted a place to put all my thoughts on theology. So when my kids get older, they go, what did Dad think about something? Here's a video. And he goes, yeah. And now your kids know what you think about Carl Lentz. I was like, yep, that's it. Like, so it's just funny. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Bible reviews are fun. It's really fun to just do like fun cinematic things, and they get long-term views for sure. Bible reviews.
That needs to be a t-shirt. That needs to be a t-shirt. And you need to send it to Tim Frisch.
Send it to the daddies.
Tim's a good guy. I don't think he would purposely give you demons.
Maybe accidentally. He had a good video out yesterday or a few days ago with Grandma Joe. It was a good video. But
also, speaking of Bible reviews, how funny is it that Jeremy was the one who won the Bible? I did that like big push, and I used that Bible subscribers from it, and the person who wins was Jeremy. So, well done.
I thought you rigged it.
No, it was legit.
He just picked his favorite one. We get it. I don't get the Bible, okay?
It was
I get it.
predestined before the foundations of the world.
Yeah.
Just like covenant children. Okay, we are out of time. We're gonna go. Lord, it's Rings of Power night, guys. I appreciate you being here. This was fun. And we kept Dean on his schedule, right?
Look at that, Dean. We did it for you, bud. We're all about you.
Oh, thanks, guys.
So, don't forget, if you're still here and you haven't left yet, and you haven't liked the video, please like the video. I know you guys already have probably, but I'm still gonna say it anyway.
Just real quickly, guys. Like, it's really hard to do that like thing. Like to say to like, have you guys thought about like different ways to do it? Like I never know how to ask people to like the video. I always just
say, hey, say it. Go. I do it. Hey, would you Gusta this? Gusta this video right here. Try to do it differently.
Or you just threaten them, say like it or I'm gonna punch you.
You don't like this video.
Oh wow.
That's the daddies are gonna come get
you.
Daddies.
Like
the video.
Oh, is it a horror movie? Like that sounds like a horror movie.
The daddies.
I hear daddies.
Don't say it like that.
Well, until the next Daddies live stream, catch you guys later.